Joining me now from Austin, Texas is Omar Villafranca. Omar, you've been surrounded by law enforcement of different kinds for days now. What different departments or divisions are there, and what are they doing?
Well, at this point, Tony, the Austin Police Department is still the lead agency here, but we've seen police departments from Houston and San Antonio who have lent their bomb experts here. But of course, there's FBI and ATF that are also here. More than 500 federal agents are here helping in this investigation. And CBS News has been able to confirm that this investigation is the top priority right now for the ATF. And what they're doing a lot of times, this is a very large area, very large neighborhood. You can see here police are still stopping people who are trying to come in and out of the neighborhood, checking them out. But with that explosion, they're having to check out a very, very wide area to look for any clues to, one, see if there's anything that the bomber may have left behind, but also trying to make sure there are no other explosives in this area.
Speaking of the bomber, we just heard your discussion with counterterrorism expert Fred Burton, and he mentioned the possibility that the suspect may have had some kind of training with explosives. He mentioned Iraq and Afghanistan. Are police releasing any additional information about this potential suspect?
Police are not. They're being very tight-lipped at this point. And after talking to Fred Burton, I mind you, this is a man who helped track down Ramzi Youssef, who was the first World Trade Center bomber. And he says at this point they're looking for any telltale signs that could be part of the bombs, whether it be a certain crimping tool that was used. They're looking for similarities like that because that's a pattern. Also reaching out, when they tried to reach out to the bomber, of course, to try to talk to police department to see if there's any demands or any sort of manifesto at this point. But interesting, when I asked Mr. Burton if the message that when police put out that they wanted a message, if the fourth explosion was the message, he believed that explosion was.
And the police today said that there were similarities between the device that exploded Sunday night and the ones used in the 3 prior bombings. What can you tell us about these devices? Have you been able to learn what it is that makes police think that they're sophisticated and also have something in common?
They're being very, very tight-lipped. They don't want to tip their hand when it comes to this investigation. But, of course, they're trying to see if there's any similarities in there in some of the minutia of what's left over from that bomb. And they're saying there's some sort of connection, but they're not saying yet.
The people who are living there, I remember reading that many of them couldn't come out of their homes for hours after the explosion yesterday. Overall, the people in that area, how are they handling it?
Well, at this point, mind you, a lot of the parents were expecting their kids to go back to school this morning. A lot of them had spring break last week. They were ready to start classes up this week. Then this explosion happened on Sunday night. And at around 8:30 is when it happened. They were on lockdown till a little around 2 o'clock Central Time. So many people didn't go to school. Police were telling them stay indoors. Because mind you, keep inside, it was if you see a suspicious package, call us and let us know. Well, with the tripwire explosion now, that completely changed the ballgame. They were telling people to stay indoors. Now, we've seen some cars coming and going, but people are antsy around here. People who live here and want to try to get back to their regular lives, and they cannot because there's still a serial bomber out.
Wow. Omar Villafranca for us in Austin. I think he will be in Austin for some time until this story comes to some sort of conclusion. Omar, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.